Hello, Mr. Peter Jazzy. As I hope I'm getting your name right. I want to tell you that you were completely wrong. Your statement that there is no evidence that the Igbos came from Israel was completely wrong. What you showed was that you were totally ignorant of the facts. And I know why you have a problem seeing the facts. But I will not get into that now. I will point out why what you said was completely baseless. To be frank, I did not go beyond the very first thing I noticed in your submission. You alleged wrongly that the language of the Jews, I want to believe that you used the term Jews, because actually that's what you said, that Igbos are not related, are not descendants of the Jews, that the language of the Jews is Afro-Asiatic. And I want to believe that you believed without any investigation that the language of the Igbos is not Afro-Asiatic, and that means that the Igbos couldn't have descended from the Jews. Let us even address this one. The Igbo language, I'm giving you a challenge now, if you can take it up. Go to the University of Ibadan. Go to the linguistics department. The Igbo language and the Hebrew language have been compared by the University of Ibadan in Nigeria. And the result of the MA thesis is that they are genetically related. Moreover, according to you, the language of the Jews is Afro-Asiatic. Igbos are not in Africa? Are you serious? You apparently believe that the Igbo language is Kwa. And I want to tell you this, even though you don't need this information because it's too big an information for you. The primary difference between the Igbo language and the languages that are so-called the Afro-Asiatic languages is that people assumed that the Afro-Asiatic languages are not tonal, while the Igbo language is tonal. But it has been discovered that the Afro-Asiatic languages were tonal. They lost tonality. And I want to tell you that it's a real big pity. I didn't go further to look at your qualifications, but you were addressed as an anthropologist, which makes me think that you have a PhD. Well, if you don't have a PhD, you are not an anthropologist, but if you have a PhD, you disgrace the degree. I don't want to go beyond your first argument based on linguistics. Because if that is wrong, every other thing will be wrong. And I also want to examine us to look at another baseless observation of yours, that Igbos are not descendants of the Jews. Igbos cannot be descendants of the Jews. Igbos, modern Igbos, by the way, can only be descendants of the ancient Israelites or ancient Hebrews. And you can take it to the bank. The Igbo man and the Igbo woman and the Igbo children are dressed as Oki Ibiri, Ibiriachi, and Ibirinta. And this term Hebrew, go to Israel now, even the modern variant of the language we call Hebrew is Ibiri. The problem is that young people will read things that people like you write, and they get further confused. The Igbos are already suffering from identity crisis, and people that are not qualified to speak for Igbos look for this on websites, strike deals with them, and wade into something they have not studied. You raised two issues from what I read. I didn't want to go beyond what I read, what the headlines, because it's a waste of my time. And you were wrong on both of them. But if you believe you are not wrong, accept a challenge. Let both of us take opposite positions on this case, and I'm telling you, you will not emanchitaja because you've not studied this and you don't want to leave it alone and you don't want to study it. The theories you are relying on are dead theories, Eurocentric theories. Look at Igbos are not descendants of Jews. Why should Igbos be descendants of Jews? Modern Igbos and modern Jews descended from the ancient Israelites. That is the truth. Every other thing is bunkum. Well, I wish you the best as you continue to make mistakes and glory in your mistakes.